theaters, so come on back when it happens. I have the writer-director, Lily Amirpour, right here with me, joining me on stage. Hey, I'm an isolated person, yeah.
Hey, what's up, Chicago? I'm not joking because I don't wear things unless I really have a strong feeling of affection. I went to a Cubs game last night and I've been feeling pretty good about this place all day.
It could always change, guys.
You know, no pressure. My first question for you is if you keep a dream journal.
Is if I want to be a dream girl?
Do you keep a dream? No. Do you keep a dream journal? Basically, a lot of these images seem to be coming from dreams or daydreams. And I'm curious if you document your dreams.
I remember my dreams, and I write them and think about them often. I don't actually keep an official dream journal, though.
Okay.
But I do write my...
Does it show up on the screen here years later?
I think it does. It's all one amorphous thing at this point.
Interesting. So with
Am
this...
I awake?
Are you awake? You're good. You're good. Welcome. And you've got great beer of choice, too, you know. So my first kind of... when watching this movie after Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, is that you're working with a bigger movie, and it's also like the desert. It's not just California. The desert. It's a hotter place and so forth.
Girl Walks was hot too in the desert.
Which was hotter, this one or which production was hotter?
Well, Girl shot in January.
Okay.
In Taft, and so high desert gets actually cold in the winter.
Okay.
And this was in March, April in the Salton Sea, which is closer to sea level,
Sure.
so hotter.
Okay.
This would win. It was hotter here.
Okay. I was thinking, I mean, like you're working with your own vision and you're trying to make it happen and so forth. So when you show up on set, is a lot of it already kind of done in pre-production and storyboarding, or are you kind of bringing your vision and are you feeling through scenes when you're on location, directing and so forth?
Oh. Well, I do a lot of storyboarding and I do a lot of rehearsals and I spend a lot of time in locations and I prepare. But, you know, when you show up in the moment, the wind comes and the birds act a certain way and it's a wild beast. It's the nature of it, especially when you go into the middle of nowhere in the desert. You've got like birds and a kid and Jim Carrey and all this shit. Like Keanu Reeves on a boombox and like hundreds of people. Like there's like an aliveness to the moment.
Sure.
And you just kind of absorb it. But the preparation is important because the clock is ticking in time and you gotta fucking get the movie like finished.
So when you're making it, you don't have a lot of time to kind of just like see where a set will take you and so forth, or?
I spend, the locations are as much as as important as casting an actor. They are, I'm super into world building.
Yes, absolutely, yes you are.
So the locations are very important.
With world building, can you tell me about Slab City and how you shot there and how you kind of found that location, and also if Giovanni Ribisi is still there, basically? He seemed to, Giovanni Ribisi, he seemed like he was already there before you were filming.
Dude, the first day of shooting with him was at Slab City at the skate park. Slab City is the largest off-the-grid community in the US. It's in the desert by the Salton Sea, and it's hot, isn't it? I see this woman fanning herself, and I'm like, you know what? I ran a marathon 2 weeks ago, so I have this heater thing on. Right here, this is heat right here. And it's fucking hot in here, so I'm kind of like...
These lights are really hot in this too.
It's like the acid is kicking in. So I'm gonna take it off. What was the question? I was telling you guys about Slab City.
City, yeah.
It's a really fucking interesting place. It's funny because people talk about post-apocalypse or dystopia. I'm like, man, this is happening right now, right?
Yeah.
3 hours away from LA. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's like 20,000 people living off the grid, and it ranges from like hippies and vets to like young, cracked out tweakers and lost. Like, it's a really interesting place, and I started going there like a year before shooting, and I knew that that was kind of like part of the fabric of the world of the Bad Batch. Because in the party scene, when the Dream is on the boombox making that speech, all of those extras were Slab City locals, and there was no direction. They were like, what he was saying, they understood completely.
Did they have like a new god in Keanu Reeves, basically? Like he sold them the dream?
I don't even know, like, it was just like, it all made perfect sense.
Is the boombox actually there, or is that something you made?
The boombox was an art car that I saw in 2012 at Burning Man.
Hell yeah, that's an awesome boombox on wheels.
And I went up to them at Burning Man. I rode my bike up to this boombox, and I was like, it's Burning Man. I don't know what you guys know about Burning Man, but it's a big, massive, sprawling desert, you know, rave.
Rave.
And so I was raving, and it was, if you know what that means. And it was like the middle of the night, and I happened to be solo that night, and I was on my bike in the night, and I see this boombox rolling across the road. And I'm gonna put Keanu Reeves on that thing. And I rode my bike over to them, and I was like, literally, like, who runs this thing? And they're like, Ian. And so they got this guy, it's like night, and they're like partying, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, let me get your email. I'm gonna immortalize this thing in cinema.
Yeah, thank you
And he
for
was
the
like,
boombox.
yeah,
It's
okay,
amazing.
cool. Here,
And
email me.
then, and then you put.
So it existed, and then I like repurposed it. But that was the last year that thing was at Burning Man. They
Really?
sold it to Live Nation, which is
It's
like,
sold out. The boombox kind of sold out.
Don't hate, man. That's too easy.
No.
That's too easy to hate.
Well, let's see. When it comes to your actors, you have an amazing cast, obviously. And I guess like there's so many questions I want to ask about each one of them, but I kind of want to hit each one along the way. About so like Suki Waterhouse. How did you get her on the vibe of this movie? How did you basically get her to become like, oh yeah, I'll go to the desert and I'll not have an arm and a leg? And how did you get her to get it?
Well, she was the only discovery for me because I like wrote for known actors for all the other parts, and then Arlen.
Chicago. I'm a PBR too, so it's legit.
He liked that so much.
It's good. We're just talking.
She was like the discovery. It was like this. I wanted this girl that was kind of like this hybrid, like a white trash Bridget Bardot, like a mix of like Bridget Bardot and Juliette Lewis, like young Juliette Lewis.
She sounds just like Juliette Lewis too. That's really good. The high voice. and
She's
stuff.
British.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it's cool because she's not really known, because when a British actress does like an American redneck, and you, like if Keira Knightley did it, you'd be like, the British is doing the American, like, you know, the whole time aware.
Yeah.
So it's cool because I got her first.
No more rednecks for Suki Waterhouse.
I really don't think people like know that she's British. And she just went on tape, and I saw her tape, and I thought that she was it. That like, just like, I didn't know who it was. I was just like, who is this girl? That's her. And then she came to my house and did a callback and auditioned in my house, and I didn't have to. She was just like her.
What scene did you audition her
She was
with?
like feral and.
What scene did you use to audition? What scene did you use to audition her with?
I can't remember.
There we go. My next question is about Jason Momoa. Yeah, he's amazing, and he like the sunglasses and the
What
music.
a man! I mean,
And yeah, I know.
if I could tell you guys how many times I literally just bit him. I would just walk up to him and just, like, you know, it's like,
The cannibal vibe, just couldn't resist it, right?
I don't care what you're into, boys, girls, you're into him too. That's how it is. That's the fucking fact.
With that character, why did you decide to make him Cuban?
We talked a lot about it. I mean, he was just Cuban because like of my Miami. That's the first place I moved when I came to America, and it's a big part of Miami is like the Cubanos, and then I just kind of, yeah, Miami man would be this Cuban immigrant with swagger and kind of like, you know, kind of like a Cuban Latin version of Patrick Swayze's character in Dirty Dancing.
That's fantastic.
But he eats people. Like if Patrick Swayze from Dirty Dancing also like could eat you. He's like, nobody puts baby in the corner, but maybe some baby back rib.
You're a funny person. You make. Okay, that brings us.
I love it.
Okay, so